And it's crazy because if you really think about it, as a business owner, as a venue, you're reaching out to people that are taking this deal that you know is less than what used to be.
Yes.
So how does it not conclude in your head that this person is going to be less than whatever you would have gotten? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand as a smart person who owns an establishment that you're getting a DJ because you're paying him a rate.
But they don't care about that. They just
it doesn't matter anymore.
I don't think it even registers.
It doesn't matter.
Well, all right. Battle raps, cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin.
All right. You boys ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. We're charged up.
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome back to the Party with Strategy podcast. Extremely special episode. I'm super excited. 2 Chicago legends, but even more importantly, for me, big inspirations in my life as a DJ for sure.
Come on.
I'm gonna keep it short.
Starting off with lies already.
I'm not gonna get too too soft here, but for real, I mean, like, I used to watch this fool do his Peter Piper routine from the Kiss FM studios while I was at Columbia College.
Man.
Fucking
Back.
trying to, see what was going on and learn some shit. And then the first thing that Architect took me to back in the day was the Red Bull 3 style at the mid.
Yeah.
2 3 style champions right here. You won Chicago.
We did do that.
We did do that, yeah. That was
hey, you guys can never take that away from us.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
I'll never forget, bro. That beard, once that beard was out,
Oh, yeah, right?
you had the most freshly cut, illest. Like, you must have gotten your hair cut.
Shout out to Rob Jordan, my barber. Still to this day, I've been going to him for 14 years, maybe. So
He must have been in the green room at the mid, because your
So
shit
the
was
funny
like,
thing is Holt mentioned something about that right before I went on. He was like, I still remember. He's like, sporting the freshest fade I ever seen.
Yes,
and I sent it to my barber, and he was like, "Oh my god, this
Shout
is
to
like the
Nigel
greatest."
Holt.
Yeah, shout out to Nigel Holt. Yeah,
3 style champion,
yeah.
one half of Boat, audio engineer extraordinaire, Osborne Audio, world class parallel Parker as well.
That's correct. Yeah,
Big once over here on the right.
Yeah.
On the left, we got Boy Genius, 3 style USA regional qualifier champion. Took the title. That was like when you were doing it, it was like they were doing cities themselves, right? And then
Yeah,
they sort of
so-
switched it to a regional thing.
Yeah, so the first couple years you won your city and then you went to the finals. So like my year, there was 11 cities maybe. So I won Chicago and then went straight to the US finals and then won that.
Yeah.
A couple years later when you did it, it was you won a city and then went to a regional, I believe. And then you had to win the regional to get to the US finals.
Yeah.
So I judged a bunch of those, both city and regional.
That year they had the regional and the finals.
Well, the year
in
that
Phoenix.
Trentino won, that was the first regional year. Because I remember, right?
I'm not sure.
2013. When did you win?
I won 2015 in
15,
Chicago,
okay, yeah,
and then
okay.
I made my way to the U.S. finals straight after that.
Right.
So there was no there was a prelim, but it was also in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had to get to the next round.
Yeah, every year changed a little bit, but yeah.
That's cool though. Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I got a couple more accolades for you. Youngest live radio DJ in Chicago.
That's a
right.
fact.
Huh?
That's pretty tight.
That's a fact. And shout to Pump Boy Lee, DJ Pump Boy Lee, who's still killing them.
Let's go. Yeah.
Is that how you got the gig?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Let's talk about that real quick because I think it's funny. I was 18. I was in high school. It was March. I was already making mixes and putting them up on MySpace. And I would mirror what I would hear on the radio. So like DJ Flipside, Boogie Boy, Nonstop, Jillian Jumpin' Perez, Timbuktu, V-Dub, Boogaloo Master, DJ Ferris, all these gentlemen that were on the radio and held it down and created an atmosphere for Chicago that like nobody could duplicate. You know what I mean? Like there was a very specific energy on the radio waves because of the priority a DJ was they were priority. I just reached out and just kept giving them mixes. And he was like, I like this mix, but fix this. And he was like, I'm asking you to fix these things because these are the ways I understand the mixes will be accepted on the radio. And I want you to learn that. He's like, I don't want you to get offended by it.
Yeah.
I want you to like learn that. He's like, and I want it to come from me because I would hate for them to tell you.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, shattered, I guess.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I appreciate him for protecting me.
That's awesome.
And he led me straight into the game, got me on the radio, my first set. I graduated high school May 28th. My first time on the radio was August 24th,
So sick.
2007, same year.
Crazy.
And that year I was going to go to Columbia College and like do audio engineering and radio broadcast and all that shit. And I'm like, I'm just going to save Mom's.
Right. Yeah. Save your parents some money.
And Mom, you know what? Trust me, I got this. I'm going to go this way.
Yeah.
You're like the LeBron James of Chicago DJs.
He really is. Yeah.
I've been told that before and I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of fun to just like, I think I mentioned earlier, like you gotta, people that have never tried have never failed. So like, you just gotta try. And I've always done that. I've always encouraged everyone around me to do that.
Yeah.
I'm spilling all over already.
Oh, it's all good, man. This is a beautiful couch and I'm sure you can get it real close to it.
Pants.
He's got money. This is
Couch.
DJ Stratus.
It's only
We're talking
water.
about
It's fine.
water.
It's fine. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm trying to hold my little joint right
Yeah,
here. So I don't
right.
spill nothing.
That would be worse if you dropped that.
Yes, exactly. See, I'm over here not dropping anything.
Right.
But there's a good story in that even further, but like we can just continue. I just want to say that real quickly because we did that shit too, Ian.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you got weekly live stream, the coffee breaks, right?
Yes, and that's an extension of what I was doing in Chicago at this place called Untitled, called These Are the Breaks. And I'm very proud to have done that, you know, for the 2 years that I did that here in Chicago with everyone that I did it with, from Pete Rock to Shortcut to Scratch Bastard, and the list goes on. Yeah. Ian, you did one of them for me.
Bunch of them,
Oh my God. Yeah. He did that.
Yeah. What a fun party, man.
So now I did it on when the pandemic happened, I did it on Twitch and I named it Coffee Breaks. And I wanted to find out what Twitch was. So I just kept doing it. And then all of a sudden I just fell in love with the opportunity and of like, you know, using my name on Twitch as a DJ. When I go live, I have like some type of notoriety amongst the DJ community. So like when they have their crowd bussing and they see me live on Twitch, I feel like they would love to share the crowd with me. And I'm so appreciative because like, that's what I'm talking about. Like all the shit that we built up and now we're like crossing over to the next layer.
New stuff. Yeah.
Our stories, our lore, everything's crossing over.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of that, guys. I think it's going to be beautiful when people find out who we were.
Right. Yeah.
So like
back in the olden times.
Yeah, the olden whatever.
Bro,
yeah.
I'm telling you, you gotta watch this Alchemist Idea Generation interview because he even talks about that, like how his new fans find out that he made all these tracks
from 20 years ago.
Yeah, like legendary hip hop tracks.
Yeah.
I'm excited for our history, guys. I really am, and I'm excited to add to the pile of my history today. And I can't wait for all of you guys to find out what we've all been on.
Yeah, and thank you for inviting us on.
Thank you. Yeah, see, this adds to the pile too. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure. I mean, bro, I'm telling you, I told you guys were inspirational to me. I was watching videos of you guys and shit, and now you're sitting on the couch with me.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have you.
We made videos, you know, and I'm so honored to even be in your creative field.
Same. Yeah.
Because I know how sacred it is, you know, and the things that we've done, you know, I actually want to do that more, you know. Now that I know that you're back, it's like I've been looking for a sparring partner, you know what I mean, like people to just spar with. Ian does my tracks now, so it's like, you do that, man. I'm gonna fucking always give you some shit you can fuck with. And by the way, I have a Tyla Water Bachata remix. Ooh. I need you to fucking
okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'd much rather best use my friends for what their best purpose is, you know what I mean? So like, I'm very good at streaming right now. You can call me for that. I would love to entertain that shit with you in any form. You know what I mean? Whether it be like, Ian, if you're just want to stream your mixing sessions.
Yeah, that's something I've thought of. Never. That's a weird thing because it's without getting too nerdy, you know, that's something that I'm working on could take me 10 minutes or it could take me like 6 hours, you know,
even better. And I don't want you to think it's a commitment to 3 or 4 hours.
So there's some people that do that. And I feel like they almost, I don't want to say they like pre-do it, but you have to have a plan of how you're going to attack it. Cause otherwise it'll just be me, you know, like trying a bunch of different things for 6 hours. And I
think you trying a bunch of things for 6 hours is more interesting than a scheduled stream.
Yeah, I mean that's also true, you know, like, or you can pick and choose highlights, I guess, from it.
And that's the type of confidence I want to give my friends, where it's like, hey, guy, I know what you do. And
Yeah, I've had this conversation with multiple people that I need to be streaming. And
no, you don't have to.
I don't-
be streaming,
yeah.
but you should for the sake of what you do.
Sure,
You'd be
sure.
holding out on the beautiful art people and community that is out there that would love.
And there's some people that,
Support.
that engineers that stream and they do,
Yeah, and they
very
would,
well.
and there's a community of collaboration out there. I believe people that are in competition are not really, all that well off. People that are in collaboration are better off.
That's a great
So,
point. Yeah.
so I believe that there's a lot more people out there you should collaborate with.
yeah.
And you would connect to them like I have. And Ian, I'm from the ground, bro. I'm from your ground. I'm from the same ground, and I'm on Twitch.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my thing over there, and I love the people that pull up. Shout to my TOG, my Track 1 gang. And they stay from Track 1 all the way to Track None.
That's dope.
And that's me using my words to figure out how to capsule it. Like, what is my crew? What is this? What are we doing?
Yeah.
That was the coolest part about Twitch to me when everyone was doing it over the pandemic. All the DJs were on there trying to do something because you couldn't DJ anywhere. And the way that you could cultivate a community online and like have this fan base
Yeah.
was something I never really experienced in the clubs, because you DJ in the clubs and you see the same people and they do like you and they like your DJing and they compliment you and this and that. But it never really felt like true fans. It just felt like,
They like being in the club more than
Acquaintances.
they like the music.
yes, exactly.
And we are communicating via music. And as much as people don't understand that, dialect, to be able to communicate with music and vibration and understand like eras and movies and culture and be able to put that shit together strategically and know that you are the maestro behind that and that you could potentially create a moment for somebody.
Yeah.
That's something that I think gets overlooked more than anything. The more accessible people are to DJing today, like Serato just opened it wide up with stems from a producer level. I think we have a special take on all that shit, so I think it's important that we participate. Shout to DJ Sage, shout to DJ Eccentric, because those two moves right there are very important for DJs to watch and understand the business behind that. Because Sage put a simple blend. It's just a good idea. It felt right, sounded good, and put it together. And she did what she had to do, which is put it on the internet and do what everybody is doing. But like, it almost felt like this is something that we could all do.
Are you talking about the Coil Ray players joint?
Busta Rhymes joint, yeah. And I love that shit because it's so inspiring for the sake of like, Ian, we are really good. That's what I'm talking about. We are really good at this.
Yeah.
Blending, acapella,
That's the whole
creativity.
thing, though. And this is no shade on her because it is a good blend and it doesn't sound good, but like that's something that when I was DJing actively, even pre-Serato, that I would do 40 times a night.
Yeah, but
Live.
that's what I'm speaking.
You almost felt like it was cheating to play an already made, there's this acapella over this instrument.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
right?
saying like even pre-Serato, like you couldn't fake it because you had to have the records to
Oh,
do
yeah,
it.
pre-Serato.
Well,
Like, and again, this is no shade to her.
No, that's not a shade thing because I was trying to salute the fact that simpleness being that it's not.
Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. Speaking of vinyl, and I just remembered something. I first of all, welcome home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a little welcome home gift for you that I almost forgot. So hold on.
I like this. I haven't been gifted anything on the pod yet. I'm excited.
This is what I'm hoping, that you haven't been gifted
yeah,
anything.
you wrapped
Also, you don't know the boxes that I had to climb over to get to the wrapping paper. So here's your Hanukkah Christmas welcome home gift.
Bro, thank you. I appreciate that.
I think you'll appreciate it. And if anybody watching this knows what this is, I will be very shocked. But
We got to open
you
it for the
will
can.
appreciate it.
I already know.
Speaking of being old and playing on vinyl,
I already know from the last time we had a conversation.
Okay.
We got deep into the Chicago hip hop.
you probably know what this is.
I don't know what it is,
Okay.
but I know it's like some OG Chicago hip hop shit, and I'm excited.
Yeah, you'll see in a second. I can't tell you until you open it.
The suspense.
Oh, flip the it's on the other side. It's just
here.
written on there because
Yeah. Oh, the Modil test press.
test pressing.
Holy
So this, for
shit.
everybody that doesn't know, this is a record that I scratched on in almost 20 years ago that he knew about And I have a test pressing. This might be the only one in existence. I don't know. Maybe one of 5. You know, you can probably sell it for 40 cents on Discogs, but that is for you.
This is incredible.
Possibly the only Modil nightly test press that exists.
Bro, thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Yeah, dude. We were talking
After we
about
talked about that, I've been thinking about this, and after we talked about it, I was like, I couldn't believe that you knew that record. And I was like, oh, I have a couple copies of the actual record, and I also have a test press. So I was like, next time I see you, that's going to be your welcome home gift. So,
incredible. Thank you, bro.
you're welcome.
Yeah, Chicago hip hop. That was like, that's what kind of got me into the game, I think.
Yeah.
My brother sort of introduced me to Chicago hip hop. I was making beats because he was rapping.
Yeah.
And then
We have a crazy, me and Zach Strategy have a very kind of crazy, we never really crossed paths, but we were very in the same scene, the Chicago hip hop scene, like very early 2000s. You know, pre really DJing in clubs for either of us, you know, like, you know, that's how I got into the scene in Chicago, is like, I was doing hip hop shows before I was even out of college. I didn't.
Please tell them your DJ name.
Yeah, no, that's another story. But we, I didn't play clubs really until much later. Like I got into the scene from doing scratches on Chicago hip hop records, including Modil, doing some tours with some rappers, and playing a lot of the. You know, when kind of underground or backpacker quote unquote MCs or groups would come to Chicago, I would open for a lot of them.
yeah,
So
that's the shit, bro.
and his brother was in the same you know, same kind of scene. And you were a little young at that point, but
Yeah, I was like probably 18, 19.
yeah. I mean, I was still in school, so yeah, I was like, you know, 22, 23. But yeah, we have this weird, you know, this history, and again, this is how I built my name in the Chicago scene. Is like when I was still in school, like doing live show things versus club things.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
That's dope. I love that you got your own wax.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I wanted to, maybe I could tell you guys off camera, but maybe I could tell you on camera.
You should definitely tell us on camera.
There's some things that I'm doing with some friends from Canada that are going to potentially help me put out my own records.
Oh. Okay.
And I don't know what type of distribution it's going to be, or I know they're going to be 45s, and I know you're going to enjoy that.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I'm excited to feed my community of DJs that, you know, celebrate me.
Yeah.
The level of DJ that plays a 45 is up here. So like I want to give them something from me as a token of my appreciation, to just be like, these are the records these, you know, the younger DJs have been playing and have been using my cumbia edits, or like, you know, any type
Oh,
of
there you go. Yeah.
these are the records that have given, you know, these younger DJs that energy.
Yeah.
And I think if I put these on vinyl, it would help you
Oh, that would be amazing.
potentially cross over, you know, like be able to get out of a hip hop set into a cumbia set, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And I think those records as tools are so important to exist for record DJs.
You know what's cool too is there's a lot of younger DJs. I'm talking about like 18 to 22-year-old kids that are buying records and actually learning to DJ on vinyl.
I agree. I appreciate that, because Urban Outfitters is selling 45s right now, and I love that.
Dude, that's the thing, is like I've heard people like, you know, like people our age, or like the old head nerds that are complaining that there's records in Target. You know, it's like,
I wouldn't
like
complain.
that's great. Like
I would complain for the quality of the record. Maybe the shit is heavy, you know, maybe the grooves are not as thick.
I'm gonna say this. I bought Billie Eilish's first record at Target. It's good pressing. It sounds good. That record's really dope.
How does it weight? How does it feel?
It's not one of those like 180, you know, like the really thick ones. It's not like that. It's just a regular record.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only one I've bought, but like, you know, they have like, you know, they have a lot of stuff that I would not be interested in, but you know, I've seen things like, you know, like the Saturday Night Fever soundcheck, or,
Repressed.
of course, but like, you know, it's like
I'm not with that, by the way. I appreciate that, and you guys can go ahead and do that. But like, I have so many copies of so many records from different eras, because I'm about quality.
yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, for a young kid that's getting into records, like, I think for us, at least for me, when I was first starting, I learned to DJ on my parents' records. I'm lucky my parents had dope taste in music. really good taste in music. So before I had records of my own, when I was figuring it out by myself in my bedroom at 17, I used my parents' records. Bless you.
Thank you.
I feel like there are kids now that want to get into records
Gracias.
that they probably, their parents are, their parents, they didn't grow up with vinyl in the house like we all did. Right. So, I like the fact that they are repressing some old things, as long as the business is legit and the artists are actually getting the money.
I agree.
That's a whole nother conversation. But I'm not one of these people that's mad at Urban Outfitters or Target or whoever. Anything I think that can
progress.
Yeah, just to spread the vinyl culture out there to a younger generation, I think is a good thing.
I agree. I love that take, and thank you, Ian, because I've ran into so many people of your category and age of DJ.
Oh, they're haters.
Have been, what is wrong with y'all? Like, what do we have to do to show you that shit doesn't exist? Like those laws and like none of that is actually real. There's a whole like world out here that you can step into, and what you got to do is stop projecting, because what you're telling me is that you're lazy. You don't want to do these things.
Right.
And remind yourself that's what you're doing when you get into that mode, and that you're projecting, and we can all see that shit. So mind yourself, old people that don't know what we're doing.
Right.
Because DJing to me has evolved. I've had to watch DJing grow in front of me when, I decided to like step out of the DJ scene in the nightlife, because there was a point where I was doing a lot, and I was doing a lot of private events. And then like before the pandemic, I was kind of like, I don't want to do this so much anymore.
That's basically how I was too. Like,
not like in Chicago, specifically Chicago, because like the ecosystem is really fragile and small, and the egos are very small, and nobody's really interested in creating moments. Everyone's trying to make money. So I can't really work in that environment. It's like hazardous for someone like me.
I feel that, because I thrive in that environment, but also at times hate it and just want to stop.
Then you understand what I'm speaking
to.
But then you understand my essence as a human, that it could potentially compromise me.
100%.
Okay.
I feel compromised quite often.
So, and you were in a unique position too, because I felt even recently you were one of the few DJs that played essentially strictly bottle service clubs, where you were still doing cool DJ shit in bottle service clubs.
Hell yeah. And I love
honestly,
that shit.
Somebody like, even pre-pandemic, again, like how you're saying that, like, I remember, so me and him used to teach at Scratch Academy.
That's right.
And we created the monsters that are running the show right now. So shout out to Cuckas.
Yeah, hell yeah. Mile High, K Caesar,
shout to the
Hot
host.
Dizza.
These are all people. These are all students.
All students.
Gang.
So we had, Mile High. He was on GCI. He's just running things. Same with K Caesar. He is from Gary, Indiana. He was on Power 92, still is. He like now owns clubs. He's a murderer.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Killer.
And Cuckas is out here.
I know we're missing.
We're missing a lot of people, but I'm just throwing the names out there.
Yodes from Iowa City. Oh my God, so many. So we helped. So
shout to Evie the Cool. Shout to DJ Chava, who just would come to practice. I invited them to come through, and they were able to embrace the space as well. And I appreciate the dojo that we created.
So all these people that we're mentioning, these were the first couple graduating classes of Scratch. And this was like 2013-ish, 2014, maybe.
I don't remember.
I don't either. I'm really bad at dates. But like, I felt like every year throughout Scratch Academy, and this is not a diss,
2012.
Academy, 2012, the quality and the quantity of DJs was going down. And honestly, around this time, like, we're talking 2016, 2017, 2018, I felt that the whole DJ scene was kind of, was really kind of going downhill. And it's because what I always felt is that every month, that basically what made me or you unique as a DJ didn't matter anymore. And I felt like every gig I played, every month, every year, that I was doing less cool DJ things to separate myself from everybody else in the game. And the game became very, and this is anywhere, very bland. And this is a whole nother conversation that you could put this to the way music sounds now, where like what used to make you unique, what used to make you stand out as a DJ or an artist, I'm talking MC, singer, producer, engineer, painter, anything, was your uniqueness and what you bring to the table as a DJ, artist, whatever. And that's what got you your name. That's what got you gigs. That's what kept your career alive. Then it became, you need to sound like everybody else, otherwise you don't have a career. And the more different you are, the more of a what's the word I'm looking for?
I want to help you, but I want you to finish.
You know, the more of a deterrence that is for people to book you.
Yeah.
You know, because there's been plenty of
The
clubs,
word you're looking for is a threat.
but not really, because
No, let me expand.
well, hold on really quick. Okay. I just like one story, like really quick about this is I was watching the podcast with you and Apollo. We're talking about Bounce. Okay. I might have been the first DJ, if not the second DJ to ever play at Bounce here in Chicago. I played their soft opening on like a Thursday or Friday. And I got booked because, quote, was going to do something different, because the guy that booked me had booked me previous places. We had worked together at other clubs.
Oh man.
I get on there. I'm playing for 4 hours, which I usually, even at that point, would not entertain at all. They're paying me good money. Literally from the first song, this is like the soft opening weekend. So all the ownership is there from New York. These motherfuckers are on my ass from the first song. Like, literally wanted me to play nothing but hip hop, like turn up hip hop for 4 hours. And I was like, the dude that booked me, I'm like, dude, this is not what I do. You could have booked anybody else in Chicago. You booked me because I literally do something different. And there's a whole nother backstory to this and things that happen afterwards. But I was like, this is not what I do. You know,
Yeah.
Like, you wanted me to play different things at this cool new club that's going to open. And then I don't know if I want to name the name of the DJ,
No,
but
you don't have
they
to.
were like, you got to play more like this guy, because, you know, this is how we were used to him. And I was like, then why didn't you book this guy? Why didn't you book me? You know, like, why, like, you know, there was some major miscommunication going on, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know whose fault it is or whatever, but needless to say, I was never invited back to Bounce. And,
There's a huge disconnect in that area of booking, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier, like, people will potentially cut you out because they want to create their new history. So, like, if you're
oh, that's for sure.
if you're a part of history already, Ian, and you're as great as a DJ as you are, and I understand the levels of DJing that you do.
But these are for people that didn't really know me.
No, I get
You know what I mean?
I don't even want to talk about that
Yeah.
anymore. That's besides the point. I'm talking about the fact that if you can be as different as you are and be as celebrated as you are with what you do, then I think it's best that you find your crowd in that space, right?
Right.
Because you have something that we all don't have, actually. I don't have an ear like you. I don't have creativity in the sense of what you did for your Red Bull 3 style set. I think that one goes in a very specific category.
Thank you.
You know, when you put people on the scale, like, you know, you got Craze, you got A-Track, you got Tag Teams. That one very much goes in a very specific box because of the creativity
Thank
and the
you.
personality that you show.
Yeah.
Now, let me talk about personality. You were talking about value, right? Like, our value is diminishing. No. The value has always been there. It's just the scale is different.
Well, I just think that it's the value that we create. Again, it's like, you know, just look at, you know, I kind of equate it to like what rap sounds like now, you know, like there aren't many, like, when was the last time you heard a rapper that was like, or a hip hop artist that was like, oh, this dude's really doing something different and people are paying attention. I'm talking about on the radio. I'm not talking about like,
Well, we shouldn't talk.
Everything's
We
not-
shouldn't limit it like that because there is a bigger scope right now, and that's where we get into these conversations that don't really get a chance to flourish. Because what I think you're trying to say is the community of people that make music and DJ in today's atmosphere don't have to be as creative or have to do the
they
hard
don't. And
things.
honestly, it's a deterrent because, like, again, if you don't sound like everybody else, you're not going to get played on the radio. And if you're a DJ, you're not going to get, like, again, what made me and what made you and what made you, you know, an asset, and why people would book us over somebody else, that does not exist anymore.
No,
Well,
but it
I
does.
would even take myself out of that category, to be honest, because when I was getting booked the most and when my career took off at its highest peak and I fucking was doing my thing, it was the time you're talking about where you were supposed to be the same person as everybody else, and it didn't really matter if you were doing any sort of cool DJ shit. And me and Dolo noticed that, and like that was the conversation that we really had with each
That
other.
you wanted
It was
to do
like
something different.
it was like the music doesn't matter. Like fuck DJing. It was
Right.
like
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah.
DJing.
Yeah.
We both know that we can DJ and pretty much out DJ anybody else in the scene.
Yes.
So like we got that. Like put that aside. That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Even though we're trying to become DJs, which is insane. It was like focus on marketing, focus on doing crazy shit, focus on this, focus on that.
Yeah.
I went that route. Now, after all that shit, and I'm, have left the city and went to Houston, and now I'm coming back and all this other shit. I do really want to focus more on DJing, more on the music.
But you
more
still
on
were
these
doing
things.
very good and playing good music. I mean, like it depends on where you're playing, right? Obviously, but like
Yeah, no,
But I also have nothing but respect for people that realize that they're in a situation that you might not love the music you're playing, but that's what I love. That's what drew me to DJing in the first place. Not playing music that you don't like, but like taking something that exists and making it different.
Yeah.
Doing cool DJ shit, right?
Yeah.
Like you might not be into the new, Future record in 2016 or whatever, but like I really respected you and Dolo a lot, and still do, obviously, that you would play kind of like the traditional bottle service music in a different way.
Yeah.
I did do that, and I was pretty successful at it, but again, I used to get booked because I would be a guy that played different stuff in the club.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, that now is a huge deterrent of me getting booked anywhere now, because I don't want to sound like everybody else. And honestly, that's not even what I got into DJing for.
Yeah.
I got into it to make something that exists different, And now, again, it's like everybody wants to hear, the crowd thing is a whole nother can of worms, obviously, especially like post-pandemic, where everybody had 3 years of sitting around listening to whatever they wanted on demand at any time.
Yeah.
Like, are there requests I already know the answer to this, but like
the requests are coming in, but it kind of takes it back to what Boy Genius was saying earlier, is like creating moments. Like,
yeah,
my take on requests is like, I'll play your request, but give me $100 for it, because that's what I love doing more than anything, is being up here and creating a moment and moving this crowd and selecting a song that I know is going to go, this is what's going to make these people go crazy or have a good time or whatever. You're getting that moment with your request. You're stealing that moment from me, and you're living it. You're enjoying it. You get to say, "Damn, I picked this song. Look at her; she's loving it. He's loving it."
But see, it usually doesn't work like that. Usually, everybody hates it except for the one.
I mean, if it's a request, that'll do that. Yes.
Yeah.
If it's some shitty song, I might still play it for $100 because I'm fucking money hungry.
Right. But see, I fuck with that because I never really thought that way. Because my whole thing is like, I love music and I love new music and hearing things that I wouldn't normally hear. It's like, again, back in our day, the fucking old man talk, like when you left a club, I would never be like, oh, this guy played every hot record and I had a great time. It was like, this dude played fucking, like, I don't know, like some random ass off the wall record. And that was the moment of the night. Yes. That's what used to make DJing. That's what used to separate DJs, put it that way. Was everybody's taste, their timing, their phrasing, their way to put together a night, and the way to keep people on their toes and give them something that they wouldn't expect.
Yeah. And you go ahead.
Oh man.
What do you want to weigh in on? I feel like there's a couple different things you want to weigh in on.
I know you agree with me.
Actually, I can see your point, but I think I have a little bit more of a developed understanding of what you're talking about, because I do understand, like, you are different. That's the point of being present, right? I'll throw a little bit of an analogy that kind of reminds me of this conversation. Do you remember when Jadakiss and Fabulous did the verses? Did you
I
guys
remember it, but I didn't really watch
that
it.
one. Yeah.
So that wasn't. So we're talking about rappers, right? That's Freddie and Jason right there, right? They do mixtapes together, they do projects together. This wasn't that big of a deal until they got to see each other's personality, and that's what made the quote unquote winner. So like Jadakiss had way more personality than Fabulous.
Really? Okay.
So it's not even about bars. It's
Right.
about charisma.
Right.
You know, and charisma is the new word, and that's Riz. So if you know what Riz is,
Oh, is that where Riz comes from? I didn't know.
I didn't know that either. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Either.
So that's what I'm talking about. Now let me
That's the young guy, Diamond Cut. Is that where it came from? Yes. Okay.
let me explain something to you, gentlemen.
It's gonna make it so much more easy to explain to people now.
I had no
every time
idea.
someone asks me
I
what
literally
Riz
had
is,
no
I'm
idea.
like, it's like your ability to get a girl. Like,
Right.
No, it's not, because that's game. That's game.
Okay.
I thought Riz was the new word for game, but it makes so much
what I
sense
thought.
that it came from charisma.
It's more like self-pride, in my opinion. It's like
Sure.
you just be yourself. Just do
Right.
you, and somebody will appreciate it.
Yes.
And the trick is, don't give them access after that. It's just, that's all you get to see is a glimpse. And you like that shit, don't you? Riz, you know? But I'm trying to say, like, there are differences that you're talking about that don't apply today. So, like, yes,
Right.
now let's talk about me. I'm very confident in what I do in the sake of how many different versions of DJing that I can provide.
Right.
You know, in the sake of a nightclub, whether I'm working with an artist or if I'm like producing my own tracks, and then the understanding of like DJing events for like 6 hours and knowing how to spread that shit out, create peaks and valleys, and then like working for places like hotels, working for places like you know, with Red Bull when they rent out like Thalia Hall and shit. Like understanding how to not be the DJ, but like be a part of the room in the creative field that allows the artist to shine. So I love DJing in the background. And I'm saying this because there are types of DJs that I am that I don't get to showcase because those rooms don't exist anymore.
Right. That's also what I'm saying.
So
But again, that's why we get booked. Is like you can play a cumbia set, you know, and you can also go open for, you know, we opened for Dipset together. Remember not Concord, what was it? Congress. You know, like we opened for Dipset. Like there's always a conversation, or there usually is not a conversation, there should be, of live show DJing versus bottle service DJing, right? For the most part, until EDM kind of became a thing in like 2011, 2012, if you're a bottle service DJ, you are in a corner in a dark DJ booth. Most of the time, the crowd wouldn't even know that you're there. Like sometimes, like if you drop something crazy and everybody, you know, like, oh yeah, like good job or whatever. But again, I came up being in front of people, looking at me, being like, do something interesting, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't get into playing clubs until I was like 30 years old. You know, I was and again, that's where I made my money. That's where all club DJs make their money. You know, unless like my goal for the longest time was to be like a tour DJ for like a rapper, an MC, or like go on hip hop tours, because also really until Serato came about, it was like, you know, you're a rap DJ, you are a funk and soul DJ, you're a house dude, whatever, you know, like, but because I came from that world, I've literally opened for Roy Ayers and Skrillex. Like, I don't know many other DJs on the planet, and every artist in between, like Dipset, Jungle, Jurassic 5, I don't know, Martin Garrix, like Ice Cube, all these just people from crazy, you know, the A-Track, Z-Trip, you know, every I used to open for all the, you know, the bottle service kind of club DJs when I was at the Resident at Roof for a while, like
All the scam guys and shit.
yeah. But yeah, like I can say, like I opened for Roy Ayers and I opened for Skrillex, like both at massive, like festivals or venues or whatever. That is something that I think, you know, look at Kid Cut Up now, who for the last 5-6 years on and off, obviously, has been on tour with Pink, playing in front of more people than any other DJ on the planet. And he got that gig because he's the best at it. And that's completely different from anything else, from bottle service gigs, from private event gigs. There's different parts of this game, and again, I was more specifically talking about.
I had a question about that really quick. Does
Yeah.
he DJ with Pink, or is he
No.
just the opening DJ?
Oh, he is the opening. He plays.
Okay.
So he opens. There's a band that plays. He plays again, and then Pink plays.
Okay, dope.
Yeah.
And they recruited him to do that because somebody from Pink's team or Pink herself
Saw
right?
him at
saw him play.
Summerfest in Milwaukee. He
And-
was already living in LA. Came back to do Summerfest, and they loved him. Had him play a couple dates when her tour in like 2018 was just starting out, and then he smashed it obviously, and they asked him to do.
And because he's a dope ass DJ, and
amazing.
someone just heard him being dope.
Yep.
Yeah, and
He's
you
always
take the
traveling
and
the
that's what I
world.
wanted to talk about. Let me get to that because, Ian, I love your point of view, and I want you to celebrate it. I don't want you to feel like there isn't anything that doesn't exist for
Oh
us.
no, there definitely is. I was just I was talking more specifically about like club DJing, where again, this is a DJ podcast. I feel like most people watching this are club DJs or bottle service DJs, however you want to say it. Like that's how you make your money as a DJ, essentially. You know, like unless you get on a crazy tour now, like Shortcut or Jeff.
Let's not
or-
generalize that because I'm sitting right next to you and I make my money via Twitch.
That's true.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
one
that's
I
what I'm
have
trying to
no
talk
idea
about.
Okay,
Let's open this shit up.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to get into that. I want you to inspire people who don't like the clubs to
Yes,
do that.
yes.
So let's talk about that first. Hold on. Technology has moved a lot faster than we have grown in the 90s.
But you are-
or the 2000s.
You DJ and your whole persona is older than your age.
100%, and that's what I'm saying. I come with a scale as well as you. So like,
Yeah.
me being able to open up for or close out for Calvin Harris at Aragon was a thing. You know, DJing for Nas for All Star Weekend, being compared against 3 other DJs, and he was like, no, him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my skill in DJing being put to the test, right? So when you
Yeah.
finally do that, nobody wants to kind of actually like DJ at a level that might potentially put you in those conversations. You are potentially just doing this to play the lottery, you
Get
know,
money.
or more than that, because money is not the only currency. There's clout. There's reputation. There's a potential collaboration that you could do, and now you're holding a bottle of whatever the fuck, and you're doing that. So there's a whole nother game.
Let me just make sure I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
You think that a lot of people's growth as DJs or even the ceiling that they hit is because they're just trying to get money in the clubs.
Oh, everyone can exist, by the way.
Yeah.
Everyone can exist because the access to DJing right now is everywhere, and people can DJ on their phones. Look at Algorithm. We're watching Qbert and the Scratch Pickles use this, and I'm watching that, and I'm like, yo, I really want to fuck with that because I would love to pull up on you USB motherfuckers and just be like, and I love the sticks because I could do that too. I remember being in DC, getting a whole thing for Record Box. They gave us a whole system and a whole showcase about how this works, and I was like, this could work. Like, you have to leave the crib, and now that you said I can't, now you're gonna do it with me. I'm gonna book us somewhere. We're gonna have to do it. So I love
Coming.
and I love it.
You're
because,
really good on CDJs. You're really good on CDJs.
With my Serato.
Obviously, you are too. Right. So
With my Serato.
But even HID mode is a good way to use it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, using just a USB, and you walk in and you plug in, and you can have multiple USBs. You know what I mean? It's like,
no, I know that, and I to me, I don't know. I haven't really had the need to. I was actually going to do it. Me and Avi Sick did a gig last year at Prism for like a record release party, and there was 4 or 5 DJs on the bill. Everybody was playing sticks, and I was going to do it. And I was like, you know what? Something happened, and I like didn't really have time to prepare anything. And I was like, let me just bring Serato or whatever. And it turns out that everybody was playing like, it was essentially like a tech house party because it was a tech house record, it was a release and everything. But there's only 5-6 hours of the same kind of music throughout the night. Is like when I went on in the middle of the night, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna play some rap music. Like, I want to switch it up, give people something different, and then we'll go up and down a couple times. And I had Serato with me. I'm a weirdo that it's so funny that I come from vinyl, and you have to prepare. You don't have to prepare, but you have a finite
Somewhat of an
music
idea.
you can play.
Yeah.
Now the digitals happen. It's like I want all my music with me.
At all times.
At all times.
I understand, and that's a very good perspective to expound on too, because that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a disconnect, because I don't think that way at all, Ian. I leave with my selection and understanding kind of both sides. So like, let's talk about when I do a stream. When I'm DJing for a stream, there's 2 hours that I cap myself on.
Okay.
I have to choose anywhere between 50 to 60 songs. I know this now after doing it for 3 years, 50 to 60 songs to get me through. And the way I DJ, Ian, I don't like to play what I played last week, last month,
Right.
last year.
Right.
I just played a song I played last year again for the first time. So it's like,
Damn.
I'm not playing with music. I'm listening to it. So what I think, to finish your point earlier, was people don't have to listen to music. They have to listen to direction. And that's why the DJing is kind of like mellowed out, because there's somebody from New York that comes in here and try to like tell you what to do in your job. In my opinion, if anybody tried to do that to me, I would just hand you the headphones.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
I'm not even challenging you.
No.
You know how to do something, you want it done a certain way, then I would just give you the headphones.
Yeah. In retrospect, I should have done that.
If you and really in reality, that's what I'm saying. Take your power back in that position, because a lot of people don't understand that micromanaging potentially, could compromise our whole image, and we are also a part of this space.
And that's really the only time that's ever happened to me on that level. Like I obviously, like, I've had people, management come and tell you to switch it up or whatever, but
Which is fair, and you should be collaborative.
I'm not,
and you should
I'm not
understand
mad at
that teamwork is present.
But that's another thing that also I feel like got lost, is the three of us got booked because we also know how to change things up and do something different, where there's a lot of dudes now that only play tech house.
Yo, I know exactly.
If that's not working, they don't know what to do.
Right.
They have no other option.
I know exactly what happens when they call me.
Because somebody else blew it. And
No, because like it was either like there's a whole list of DJs that have to go through for me to get to me. So I know when you call my number, and I don't even have a phone number. I know when you get to my DMs, because that's the only way you can get. I know when you try to get to me, you have really wanted me. You really want me.
That's a nice place to be.
I'm just saying, I know what the people want and what is looked at as a career DJ. Like, I'm very much group of white people. You're listening to some cumbia tonight.
there you go.
And I'm not even interested in being that guy. It's just I read the moment and I watch the room. And honestly, everyone should understand, at least fucking with me, that when you book me, and I know you got a liquor company that you're in here with, I know we're at this hotel, I know we're doing all these things, but there are a whole bunch of people in here that you've attracted via Facebook, Instagram, social media, emails, text messages, and they have already participated in all of what's already happened in Chicago. They already have. There's been a limit of creativity in Chicago that everyone's just using the same one sheet and using the same programming, the same step and repeats, the same graphics, the same all this. When you finally get to me, you are going to find out that you potentially might have unleashed the beast, and now we can do something in this room that potentially might matter. Because my focus is not your focus or
Right.
money focus or your brand. I understand, but I'm also in this room. And my brand also has to be present. So I'm gonna make sure we do this top 40 stuff that you want, the roof wants, what the hotel wants, what the venue wants, whatever it is. I'm gonna do all that, and then I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna do it how I do it. And that's something that I want everyone to understand. Like, the difference maker, Ian, is really more or less how you approach DJing. It's no longer your skill in DJing. A good example of what a limit of a DJ is. So like, if you work with him, or you have a party with him, or you do anything with him, I'm going to be limited to this. I have to fight through that. So if I come in the room and I'm like, no, we can't do that. This guy's getting this much. Why would we give you that? And I'm like, all right, well, I don't even want to get into this.
You don't find like any sort of fun or excitement in a negotiation like that?
I've done it, and I don't
tell
try.
them you don't like it.
I don't want to do it.
I hate negotiation.
Well, because that's what I'm saying. That's what paints you in a light that doesn't allow you to exist in the future, because you deal with this level of DJ that doesn't provide any more than what they know.
It's a valid point.
Well, so that's another thing too. Is
And
I
that's
feel,
just an idea of a DJ. If that is your knight in shining armor, if that's the DJ you see that scratches, and that's your idea of scratching, and then your DJ of DJing, that's your idea of DJing, and that's all you really have an exposure to, and nobody can be there in that room because this guy is here, well, then that's a problem I can't fight anymore. I won't do it because now we're talking about more than DJing. Now we're talking about that's my friend.
yeah.
Now I know him. I don't know you.
But see, that's another thing also I feel like that in club world now is like people like you and me could command way more money than the average local DJ, right? You know why why you
Wait,
and I
hold on, wait. We could
we
command.
command more money. We could command.
We could, but that's what I'm saying. Wait, I could, but I choose not to in a fragile ecosystem that is DJing everywhere. But specifically, my experience that I've most experienced is in Chicago.
Yeah,
because they kind of are like I'm like the elephant man, and I'm not referring to like the elephant in the room situation. I'm talking about an actual elephant, like in the wild, in the
Like with the trunk and the
I'm that.
tusks.
yes. And I'm using that as an example that I've crossed over to be that. I used to be a cheetah. I'm now a lion. I used to do all those things.
Let me see some of that weed.
And now I'm an elephant. There's a space that I've acquired that I understand. So when you get too close to the elephant and I move, I can't really worry too much about where I'm going to move. I got to move. And if I step on something, then you're just in the way. You were too close to the elephant. And that's a problem.
That's fucking brilliant, honestly.
And I can't think about you in that scenario when I have to survive.
Yes. That's very business oriented. As far away from it as it is, because it's super creative, it sort of circles back to like, business is business and you got to do what you got to do.
And I appreciate today's business because what I'm understanding in today's business is that you can really do what you want to do. And I love it. It really makes me feel that way. I love how my DJs are moving around the world. Yeah. And now let's get out of a local situation. Let's zoom out because zooming in is so boring.
Well, let me weigh in real quick just on one thing you said, like the confinement of being micromanaged and having somebody tell you what to do. I will say personally that I think that has made me a better DJ.
I agree.
I don't want it anymore, but definitely in the beginning when I first started in the clubs, downtown, River North, whatever, doing my thing, making good DJ money, being a DJ for a living professionally, I subjected myself to that for the paycheck.
Yes.
And I hated it, but now looking back, being put in that box unlocked a level of creativity for me that I wouldn't have been able to get to without the box having everything at my disposal. Like every song I could ever play, I would have never been able to like take the songs that I need to play and be able to move around them the way that I do because I had all the songs.
I have an exact same story to that like my first legit like downtown Chicago money-making residency was at Roof on the Wit. This is like 2009.
And he got me in there too, and I was there for 8 years too.
But
yes.
When I walked in, I did like a tryout kind of, and I got hired as every Friday. And the manager at the time was like, all right, every Friday, 9 p.m. to 2 a.m., and his exact words were, minimal to no hip-hop. And I was like, okay.
I kind of like that.
So I was at Tonic Room before that. Ooh, I put in my 2 weeks, which was a straight up hip hop party. Shout out to DJ Izzo. Yeah. You probably
Izzo, yeah.
Okay, so that was my first legit residency. And for people that don't know about Tonic Room, it was right next to DePaul. Capacity was probably legally 50.
Yeah.
Every Friday there would be like 130 motherfuckers in there.
We're so local.
And it was so bananas every week. When he moved to LA, I got that job Friday, and then I got hired at Roof, and I lied and told them how much money I was making at and I basically was making double the money, more than double the money. So I had to leave. I love Tonic Room, but 5 hours every Friday and Saturday, every Friday, minimal to no hip hop. And there's a lot of this is a whole nother story. There's a lot of racism that comes to that, to the no hip hop thing.
Oh, yeah,
This,
100%.
though, was not. It was like, look, people can go to any other club.
Yeah,
in the
man,
city.
we want to do something here.
Yes. They were like, and also now it's like, oh, everything's a vibe, bro. It's all a vibe. Everything's a vibe. No, it was like, we want to build a vibe here where you can come here. It's the dopest view in the city. It's a great venue. We want people to come here. They can dance if they want to. They can enjoy themselves, but we're going to play cutting edge, dope ass music. And I was like, cool.
Yeah.
So I was playing indie rock, 80s stuff, original sample stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty Lights records, some rap music here and there at the end of the night, house, 90s house, like Prince, soul, just everything. Literally
Yes.
and honestly, that
Didn't we play Wax one night?
dude, I had a wax later on. So I left for a year or two after I won the US 3 style, because I just couldn't be there every week. Obviously, I came back later and did a vinyl night, but I credit that
Hold on.
night.
You remember Pumpin' Pete's?
Of course. I credit that night really to making me the DJ that I was, because I am to this day, because up until that point I was mostly a rap music dude. And I would play for 5 hours every Friday for a year and a half. Again, minimal to no hip hop, and I did everything but that, and I murdered it every Friday. And honestly, the reason Roof was opened as like a piano bar, and they were trying to make it a DJ thing, and they were going through DJs, I can honestly say that place is still open because of that Friday night, like 10 years ago.
I love that. And you definitely introduced me to this space. And I remember
Yep.
working with the Music Trust. And I'm not sure if Clayton is still over there or
Shout out
whatnot.
to Clayton.
Shout out to Clayton. And I think that space has been has been in everybody's, hands, and we've all treated it differently, you know what I mean? And I think we built different sides of that room. Because I remember DJ.
I mean, I have no idea what it's like now. I know like Cut Cuz plays there. Like there's cool people that play there. I haven't been there in years. They had a like when I was doing the vinyl night, they had a manager come in and fire a lot of people. And immediately I was like, no, I'm not with this. He came from one of the bougie, other downtown spots, like a Y bar or something like that. And I was like, nah, man.
See, to me, those type of managers, like I said, only have a certain amount of experience, and it's not even about it's not about progression. It's just like, we're gonna cap this at this because this is all I know.
Yeah.
And I'm in control of this.
Right.
So as long as I'm in control of this is all we're gonna do. And that to me is the most shallow approach you could have, and especially a beautiful city like Chicago that is a music city. I'm a little sad about no one's pushing.
Yeah.
And it makes me look crazy when I'm the only one pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel that pressure. I want to progress this game. I want everyone to understand that DJing, even understanding like business and bars, have a missed opportunity in really today's game, because so many DJs are playing music from all over the world. I believe a DJ has to expand themselves outside of the creative field to just really understand what they're doing first. So like the name of your party, the time and date you choose to throw your party. It has to almost be an event. Like when I would throw my 1 year anniversary on Twitch, I felt that whole week was like fucking New Year's.
What's your first suggestion?
Is put
In
that
marketing.
Yeah, let's redesign that $1,000 you're about to spend on that budget on Facebook for ads. Let's just redesign that, and let's put that into potentially flyers, physical flyers and posters, and let's showcase these flyers and posters by putting good artwork on them.
Why do you not have your own venue? I feel like you should have your own bar.
Thank you for saying that. I can't wait. I have created a venue called Coffee Breaks.
Yeah.
And that space to me is more real than anything that I've ever really encountered.
Yeah.
So like, imagine this. Now I'm DJing on Twitch, and then like Shortcut raids me.
Yeah. Right. Right.
I don't know any venues at 9 o'clock in the morning that are 400 people deep. Please snap out of the fact that we have to tie ourselves to a venue to exist, or a sponsor to exist, or a DJ community to exist. No, we're going to be limited to all of those places, especially where you can go as far as you want to go if you know that. And I'm saying, like, you're going to watch this 10 years from now and be like, what the fuck was he talking about? I'm curious about how people's mentality is okay with the bare minimum. There'll be a party called Reggaeton and Afrobeats. and there's no creativity to this.
Not even like, I mean, I can only speak on that from the market that
That's a money
swim
grab
in,
to me.
which is like the nightclubs and shit, but not even in like Wicker or Pilsen or where they're doing more cool shit. It's still the same.
I agree that
thing.
they're doing cool shit. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying cool shit happened when it wanted to.
Right.
You really just had to know. There wasn't a schedule for cool shit.
Right. But there was a lot more things happening outside of like downtown Chicago.
Yeah, Wicker Park on the north side, even like Pilsen, like I said, like there's a lot of communities that were built in the house party scene that now have found venues,
Right,
been able to monetize and organize a little bit better.
But you want to talk about throwing cool music parties in like small venues. Like Wicker Park was that spot.
Okay.
Now, again, I feel like it's all just kind of meshed together, and there really isn't a lot of things that are sticking out where you know that this is like the cool music spot.
Please remind me that I'm not in this scene, because I'm not. And I'm speaking from a perspective of what I won't participate in. And I've learned this about DJing all over the country, that everyone has their own little pockets of cliques and things that they have to go through as far as politics. So I'm not speaking to anybody that doesn't know what the fuck's going on. I'm saying DJing itself has evolved to more of a business standpoint and not so much of a skill standpoint. But, you know, I'm also contrasted that when DJ K-Swiss just wins the DMC and fucks everybody up. Like, there's a beautiful space in DJing right now, and I want everyone to just open up to it. And it could potentially open up your eyes to a DJ like Big Once. And you could walk into a space where you make more money, right? And you could be led into doing more cool shit because of artistry, and that's what you would want to get behind.
Places started to open up, and they used to pay $400, you know, for like a 2 to 3 hour set. Now they're saying you got to play 6 hours for $150. I think there's, and I'm again, this is not.
Trauma's a real thing, right, guys?
There's a lot of people that are DJs that jumped right back into DJing a lot, got taken advantage of post pandemic. I'm saying,
Yeah.
And again, like, I get it. If, you know, I was, you know, until this engineering thing, I've been a professional DJ since 2009. Like, I haven't had a day job. Like,
me either.
I get how you need to make money, but I think there was a lot of venues, venues that took advantage of DJs because they didn't make any money for 2 years. I also see that side of it, but they're screwing.
And there's DJs that sign up for that
immediately.
So that's what I'm saying. You are no longer a victim. You are a volunteer.
And it's crazy because if you really think about it, as a business owner, as a venue, you're reaching out to people that are taking this deal that you know is less than what used to be.
Yes.
So how does it not conclude in your head that this person is going to be less than whatever you would have gotten? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you're bringing this deal to somebody who maybe used to do it and they're like, no, I'm not doing it. So you're like, all right, I'll bring this deal over here.
Yeah.
You got to understand, as a smart person who owns an establishment, that you're getting a shittier DJ because you're paying them a shittier rate.
But they don't care about that. They just
it doesn't matter anymore.
I don't think it even registers.
It doesn't.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Matter.
And that's what I'm saying. They don't care about that because they don't know
Yeah.
what the value is of a DJ, that if they were to pay somebody's rate and not somebody that's booked on that you need the notoriety of some type of agency to get booked at your rate. I'm saying there's a value of booking someone for your DJ set, and you give him, I'm going to put a number to Sean Davis. You give him $12.50 a set. And that's not outlandish to me. That's the value of Sean Davis.
Shout out Sean Davis, man.
So I'm just saying, now if we use him as a measuring stick for the sake of, you know, seniority, vinyl DJing that he does, and then his laptop game is hard. So like, there's a situation that could occur if we were to empower DJs like this that would allow a venue to recognize, not only are you bringing in more big spenders, you're bringing in more whales, you're bringing in an older set of people that have more established income, more disposable income, and are looking for, in today's market, the outside gentlemen and women watching that are DJs is more valuable than it ever was before. People are really choosing where they're spending their money right now and being very conscious about who's getting their money.
That's true, yeah.
So I need you to know that you're not even paying for, like, as a venue, you're not paying for someone that is a notoriety name. You're paying for someone that understands the level of comfort you want in the room, because that's the new value. The new value is comfort. And I believe in that space. When that area of nightclubbing or lounge or, you know, bar is created, there's an opportunity for business to happen like that, that where you can value that space. And if somebody were to, you know, request a song, it would be with an understanding of what we're doing. We won't even have to question that. Now the requester is not a bad thing.
I don't even have to charge them.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, because like if we're playing, you know, the joints and you following up with another joint, you just are reading the room. You want this room to be the best, and we all want it to be the best, and that's what I'm saying. Somebody that doesn't know that camaraderie, that is just shouting orders,
Right.
they will dismiss you for not listening to them in that space of control, right?
Right.
And I'm not interested in those spaces for that reason, for the fact that I'm here already, and you haven't even given me the full opportunity in one whole night to just really do this. That's a fucking tough way to operate if I already know what to do.
Yeah. Too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
Yeah, and you could be that, bro. Like, I get it. I know those people, and I work with those people. I've had to tell people, like, hey, I get it. We're friends, and we go eat, and we smoke after this, but sit back, dog.
You got to let me do my thing.
Yeah, I got you.
That's how I came up. I came up with people looking at me. Like, I came up on
Well, you have that
stages, not at
reputation.
clubs.
And
Yeah, right.
You want to see that shit.
Yeah. It's weird when I would play in clubs and I was backed in a corner. I was like, you know, I'd still smash it, but it's like it's not the same experience for me.
And that plays directly into what you said earlier about his 3-style set and just him being up there.
Yeah.
And commanding.
You knew what
doing
to
his
do.
thing.
Because then I could get booked at clubs that had the DJ more as a as a live thing, not just in the corner, and I could play all over the country and you know, different countries, like knowing that
atmosphere.
like, yeah, with that, like, you can put this guy, because dude, again, a lot of DJs that came up playing clubs have never been on a stage before. That's one of the things I realized judging a bunch of the 3-style things after I won is 3-style, you know, they ended up doing like online submissions after a few years. It started that you had to be one of the best club DJs in your city to even get invited.
For sure. There was an invite only.
Yeah.
And we got invited for those too.
Yeah. And I was the last person to get invited to my year because I had a weird mix that was all down tempo and like tripped out stuff and like cutting. And shout out to Aaron Woody and shout out to Juan Lopez if you're watching. Everybody had, these guys they really did their homework. They had a list of DJs and I at that point still was not a club DJ at all. But somehow my name got on the list and they listened to this mix that I did. Now they were like, this dude's different. We want him for the last spot. But anyway, so like after winning that and then going around the country and judging a lot of these cities and regionals is, again, it used to be the top club DJs in the city. Most of these dudes would get on stage and they would be terrified. Some of them had good routines, good ideas, but a lot of them, it's crazy to me that they would be like in their 30s, top club DJ dude in their city, making all this money. They've never been on a stage before.
Yeah.
They've never actually had people look at them while they're DJing.
And being, you know, judgmental.
And that's a scary thing. And like, you know, people have stage fright or whatever. But again, since the day my career started, I was doing live music things, playing with bands, opening for rappers, you know, doing sets that were at hip hop shows where, again, you have 400. You remember the Abbey Pub?
Yep.
How many shows have you been there? Like 300 dudes with, like Scully's on and whatever. Like,
with the brim.
Who is this guy? Yeah, right. Well, I don't know. I forget, looking at me being like, who is this guy? You know, do something cool, you know? That's how I started. So to me, it's weird that like, and it really doesn't have anything to do with me personally. It's just like, I'm used to that. And why would I want to be in this corner where nobody can see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
But also, again, then the other flip side of that is, remember when we were doing the vinyl night? It was like, I don't care if anybody looks at me. I want people to not know that we're playing vinyl.
I actually love that aspect,
You know?
because I've already done that.
And I did my vinyl night more to give DJs of a certain age a chance to play their vinyl out again. Because a lot of these dudes had, like me, an apartment full of records that they hadn't touched in 15 years.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, look, this is not some nerd vinyl shit. This is like a party. but we want you to get back in that groove again and start playing records. And we don't want the crowd to know that you're playing vinyl. You know what I mean? Like it could be any other night of the week, like playing Madonna, Drake. I still buy new records once in a while. Like we want it to seem like a fun club night, not with no like limitations on music.
Right.
You know, from somebody that's played in a lot of big cities and a lot of smaller cities, I always have a better time in the smaller cities.
For sure.
Because they're not, you know, they might have a club or two, but they're not used to
a level of this.
Yeah, you know, like, or even it doesn't matter what the music is. A lot of times national tours, no matter if you're talking about somebody that's going to draw 40 people or 40,000, a lot of smaller markets get missed in the US. Like if the routing isn't right and the money's not there, they're not coming to your city.
I think the world is way bigger than, you know, any record label or quote unquote marketing team could ever, you know, minimize it to.
Yeah. I want to play a game real quick. I'm not sure how much time we got left, but this is a fun game. I haven't played it with any DJs. It's normally with pedestrians to get to know them better.
Okay, let's go.
But you know, everyone goes through phases of yourself, and especially as a DJ, more of like your career and who you are behind the turntables. You know, you start off one way and then you get here. You start off 18 years old, youngest DJ on Kiss FM, and now you're in the overground, right? So I want to name some songs from a particular year that were the top songs.
Ooh.
That'll spark some memories. I want to know, like, when you were playing these songs, who were you? You know, did you have, you know, Sean John jacket on with a Fat Farm shoes, or like, you know,
I like where this is going.
What version of you was playing these songs?
Ian, you're pretty fly, man. You know, like, so I'm excited.
I'm ready for this. Yeah.
You got money, bro. So let's
shut up. Shut up.
So in 2005, Kanye West Gold Digger comes out. Mario, Let Me Love You. Sierra, Missy Elliott, 1-2 Step. 50 Cent and The Game, How We Do. Like all those records. Do you have any memories of playing those records? Or if you weren't playing them, maybe you were doing hip hop shows, you know, you wouldn't be playing this shit, but it was on the radio. Like what was going on at that time for you?
All right, so 2005, I was sophomore in high school and I was DJing. I remember working with my dad in Evanston and listening to DJ Kid Scratch on Power 92.
Indiana.
He played Gold Digger, and I heard A-Track did the scratches on that shit.
Shout out A-Track.
And it fucked me up when I heard it on the radio, and I was like, that is crazy, you know? Like, and then that was the time where I had CDJ Newmark Access 9 CD players, and I was cutting edits off of Acid Pro, and I was making edits of How We Do, Mariah Carey's with JD, forgot what song that was, Like This, or like that, yeah. And
Careful, we don't want to get a YouTube copyright strike.
Right. That was too good, bro. That was
bad.
That was too good. It was in key and everything.
Right? That was it, right?
I'm about to make a remix of that. So I remember walking into How We Do and realizing I can't make an edit, but it has an intro already. And then I realized, do I want to use the clap or do I want to use this? And I made a decision then that I still use to this day. I never cut anything out. I leave everything in. I like to bring an authentic level of DJing, and that's all those songs reminded me was that mentality of like, this is what I want to do. At the time, DJ Nonstop used to upload his top 50 list on his website, and I used to go through that. And then going through that, I would find all these other songs. And then
shout out Nonstop real quick. One of the biggest influences of my entire
Mine too.
I need to get him on here. I want him and Metro to come on.
Oh,
that'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
Those guys are definitely it, and they are still holding it down.
Still.
And it's all about the game that they're playing. Like,
I heard a Nonstop mixtape when I was 16 years old that absolutely changed my life.
You got to understand, like the mixtape DJ that come from Chicago are the freestyle DJs that come from Chicago, the house, techno DJs like Too Cool Chris, Bad Boy Bill, those guys that actually make tapes, and with a 4-track or an 8-track, and they are cutting, tracking things, and creating a whole spectacle of music and using all of what they have to make this happen, to bring it out their head. Like, I'm such a fan of that DJ. So I would use that mentality.
There you go.
I love that. All right. A long answer
With
for
my
an
friends.
easy question.
Sorry.
Big ones.
Wait, do we have time for? Are we about
Run it!
Run out of time here.
Run it.
We got 5
We
minutes.
got 5 minutes. I'm sure you got an answer for this question in 5 minutes, and then I'll wrap it up, and
Okay.
we'll fucking get back to cutting some records.
Okay. Wait, is this the same songs?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, okay. So
I know it was about 30 minutes ago. But I'll give it back to you.
Refresh my memory here.
Kanye West, Gold Digger. Mario, Let Me Love You. Sierra and Missy Elliott, 1-2 Step.
Okay.
And 50 Cent, How We Do.
Okay. So until Kanye fucking went off the deep end, I would still be playing Gold Digger to this day. I was always more of a Hate It or Love It guy versus this is How
Which
We Do.
came out in the same year,
Same-
I believe.
yep.
Oh, okay. That says so much about you, Ian.
That's one of the best beats of all time.
That beat is fucking
The
incredible.
samples
out
and
to
shit, the way they
the
chopped it is
Runners,
crazy.
maybe?
Yeah,
To
the runners.
yeah.
I thought it was Dr. Dre.
No. Hold on, man.
I'm pretty sure Hate It or Love is Dr. Dre.
I think it's the Runners.
Hey, bro, hold up.
Okay, so Sierra, I like that record. I didn't play it a ton. I think Mario, yes.
But like,
I fuck with all those records. Here's the thing you got to know about me. If you want to know one thing about me, at least in hip hop world as a DJ, my favorite year ever is like 2003. So like all that shit, fucking Tipsy, Gold Digger, In the Club.
It was Cool and Dre.
Right there. Oh,
Cool and Dre.
Thank you.
Additional production
Not
from
Dr.
Dr. Dre.
Okay.
Oh, there.
Okay.
The song
yeah.
features music sample of Rubber Band by the Tramps.
The Tramps. Yep. Okay. Cool and Dre. That's right.
You know, guys, the internet.
Yeah, so I love all that. That to me is my favorite era of
All this guessing
pop
shit.
music for sure. Also
Yeah.
like underground stuff. Like that was all when 02 to 06, all the cool underground stuff that we all nerded out to. Like,
Juice, The Mole Men,
Yeah.
Matlock, all that shit.
I mean Jurassic 5, like God, just J-Zone, everything, all that.
but in 2003, when all those records were out, you're playing all those parties. Like, where are you at?
So in 2005, I graduated college.
Okay.
I moved to Chicago in 2005, like the week I graduated school. I had already been coming to Chicago. I was already like somewhat established here. I wasn't really playing those records at that time because I was still a very, backpacker hip hop dude because I was still in that world. That was like the height of my underground hip hop shows, doing scratching on the Model album, which came out in 2004. Like,
Yeah.
going on tour with Verbal Kent. That was a couple years later. So I didn't really play any of those records at that time. I play them now way more than I ever did. I
Okay.
would play like Hate It or Love It
That's so
at,
cool.
at the underground shows because that was a record that was like would make sense in that context.
Yeah.
You know,
all the
what's-
other stuff really didn't at that point.
to kind of change the subject, but to
Well,
keep
hold on.
the
We
vibe-
only have like 3 minutes left, I
Okay.
think.
Oh, okay. What do you want to do? My bad.
I agree. We just got to wrap it up. We got to
Oh,
put
we
a
gotta
button
wrap
on
it
it. We got to put a button on it. I mean, I'll keep going. If you guys want to keep going, he could reset the cameras or something. I don't know, but
I'm down to keep going.
I'm
but
down to keep going. Well, if we're gonna button it up, I want to talk like
Go ahead, bro.
we've
You
been
got
talking
it.
about
I
all
don't
this,
wanna say
all
nothing
this
else.
DJ stuff. I don't even really DJ anymore. I'm an engineer.
Tell 'em, Ian.
So if you need your music mix,
Yes.
hit me up.
Osborne Audio.
Osborne Audio, osborne-audio.com, Osborne Audio at Gmail.
and if you need a reference, go to my Bandcamp.
Yeah. Although I mixed all that stuff years ago when I had no idea.
Oh, shit. So maybe I should get them remastered.
Yes. But no, seriously, like I come from DJ world. I will be a DJ until I die. I only really started DJing for me anyway. It's funny that I've been able to create
Just
a career.
you
out of
just are
DJing.
very lucky to have found out about my friend Big Once.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
You're very lucky. That's all. I mean, you
yeah.
weren't supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you did, and if you want to do your due diligence, I highly recommend you look up his Red Bull 3-Star
Yeah. I got stuff
2010
out there still.
video, and it's held the test of time. I watched it the other day, Ian.
Is it still online? A lot of my stuff's gotten pulled,
I
unfortunately.
might have saved it, bro.
Okay.
I have my own shit, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody's shit.
But yeah, so I have a
You understand the type of research
I have
I
a
had to
stu-
do for 3-Star. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I have a studio right around the corner, literally 2 blocks away from here. I'm not going to say exactly where we are, but I'm in Chicago. We're in Avondale. I have a professional studio. You know,
I thought we were in Evanston.
I get down. Evanston.
Yeah, I don't know where we are.
Evanston is way.
I'm just trying to throw people off, man.
Okay.
Just figure out.
All right.
Fuck, people are doing shit now, bro. Like,
We're on the far, far, far west side of Chicago.
see,
incredible.
that's not even
episode.
good either, bro. There's nothing wrong with the west side.
No,
I
I'm
love
not
the
saying
west
that
side.
at all. All right.
Anyway, I'm just
Zach, wrap it up. Sorry. We'll shut
Incredible
up. We'll shut up.
episode. Incredible episode. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
We need to
seriously.
do this more. There's so much more that never even got to
I know,
get talked about. We'll convene with Diamond Cut after this, but thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe,
Yeah.
comment on the video. Algorithm activating activity. That's what we like over here. Although sometimes we are above the algorithm.
No, you need the algorithm.
Well, we need it.
You see what I'm saying?
We're all slave to
It's not a
algorithm.
it's not a dismissal of the algorithm. It's a usage of it.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.